Never mind your liver, get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
It explodes into delight with you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gino Spot tonight. We are here Thursday night. I know it's not our normal Thursday, but we normally do Thursday if we can't do the Saturday. And that's exactly what's happened this weekend. So we are rebroadcasting on the Saturday. So welcome to the Saturday, people, if you're not watching tonight. But you on Thursday are live. Live. That's right. So make sure you put your say how's it in the comments. Just put something in the comments. Say hello and let me know what you're drinking, because get yourself something to drink. Just relax and kick your feet back, because it's been a long, arduous day of soul-sapping work. Good evening, Brian Wilkinson. Lovely to have you here as well, all the way from the Boardwalk. Of course, one of our regulars, Brian. We love you. We love you. What are you drinking out there? I've got a bit of a G&T tonight. I've got a bit of a G&T because, of course, our sponsors, Fitch and Leeds. That's right, Fitch and Leeds. Thank you so much indeed. And of course, Spa, our sponsors as well. Eastern Cape, proud. You know, there's so many of the companies, and we look in the musos as well. I always look at the musicians and see how many of the Eastern Cape people have spread themselves, sowed their wild oats out in the rest of the country. It's incredible how many people are either ex-East London, ex-Eastern Cape, Queenstown, PE, Glebecheni, wherever it's going to be. And I see, I've got, like I said, a little bit of a Fitch and Leeds, a little bit of a gin. Get yourself something to drink just to take the edge off, you know, or sit back and have a little bit of coffee or something and relax, because we have Marc Lottering on tonight. That's right, Marc Lottering, all the way from Cape Town. And we're going to chat to him about his up-and-coming show on the 10th and the 11th of December. 10th and 11th of December. Write it down in your diary, indeed. Do it. Ladies and gentlemen, send me some comments. Send me some comments. I'm going to sing your comments for you. Thank you to Amobia, our internet provider as well. That's providing our solid internet for tonight. Lovely. We hope that nothing goes wrong. You never know with the interweb, you know. And of course, Thursday we've had a lovely week of good weather as well. A bit windy today, but that's just PE for you. We're used to that. We're okay with that. So and also, of course, we have a new mayor. Eugene Johnson, we're hoping that she's going to do some wonderful things. I saw a little video of her promising some stuff, but it didn't look so good. But we'll see. You know, we never know with the press what's fake and what's real and what's whatever. So let's just give her a chance. Let's have her see what she can do. And send me some comments. Send some comments in. Put the comments in. Let's do a little song for you guys. All right, welcome to Gino Spot. We hope you're going to enjoy it. Marc Lottering's in tonight. That's right. Woo! Oh, Raipa, don't say the sound. Oh, Raipa, should be relieved in Spain. And Ross say hello, and hello to you too. And Wendy Tompkins Thompson says hi. That's right. Whoa, Brian Wilkinson says a whole lot to love. A whole lot to love tonight. That's right, yeah. Whoa, junkie akkels op die rivier se brug. En Carol Jacobs op jou perd. Whoa, ryper van jou. Dis jou ryper wat jy saantree. Jep. Kom hulle en so ryper. Dis reg, ja. Jy voer in rits en jy's Rogers met vanavond. Okay. I from the UK. Ek hoop ek kan die Afrikaans verstaan. En Ellen met jou vrou daar. Wow, Gordon Wright sit daar. 'n lekker rein in the Karoo. Oh, that's good news. Daar is voer en rus en jy spel met Jean Barnors. Oh, hallo, Thelma in Durban. Alright, looking forward to the show. That's right, Thelma enjoys. Sê Roger Smith kan praat. Roger Smith kan praat. Okay. Sê Roger Smith praat jong. Hy's van die UK af maar hy kan 'n bietjie praat. Mooi, dankie. Thank you guys, enjoy. We're going to have fun tonight, indeed. I've got, where's my drink? Good Lord, I've lost it already. You never know. And you never know in this place with Gary around, he could spark it in any minute. I must keep an eye on my drink. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, of course we are sponsored by Fitch and Leeds, and therefore we need a little advertising moment from Fitch and Leeds. Let's see what Justin's got up his sleeve with some.
When the sun goes down and you need a little tipple, Fitch and Leeds have got a flavor for the people.
Hey guys, welcome to Magical Mixologist. Today I'm going to be showing you a grape drink with our grapefruit tonic yet again. We're going to be doing a ginger G&T with grapefruit tonic. Yes, try to say that after a few of these. It's a challenge, trust me. Alright, so in our shaker with ice, we're going to be combining some lime juice, some ginger syrup, some actual fresh ginger, and of course a shot of gin. Right, and we're going to take that, take it up. Right, and then we're going to rim our glass with some red wine salt. Right, get that nice and covered there. Oh, label to camera, of course. And then put some ice in here. Oh, big glass, don't worry about that. Couple sticks of fresh ginger. Contents of the shaker, straight over the ice. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Alright, and then topping up our Fitch and Leeds grapefruit tonic. Bang! There we go. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And again. Cheers. And there we have it. Our ginger G&T with grapefruit tonic. Thanks guys.
Fitch and Leeds have got a mixer that'll fix you on the table.
Fitch and Leeds, the bespoke mixer for the discerning individual. Yeah, well done, Justin. That was a fantastic. Lots of ginger in there, indeed. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on, because we haven't got much time tonight for this busy man. We had to get him on quick, and that is Mr. Marc Lottering. Let's do the introduction for Marc. Marc Lottering, welcome onto Gino's spot.
Hello, so good to be here, man.
Lekker. I see you've got a very nice background there, as opposed to the one you had earlier. That's much better.
I changed the background because you cucked me out. You said that it was really, really boring. And so my dog is going mad only now that I'm on. Yay! Hamilton! So,
Hamilton!
yeah, no, the dog is demon possessed. So,
no, that's fine.
So yeah, I felt bad because you didn't like me just sitting in the room there, which is quite strange because when I message you from that room at 3 a.m. every weekend, you have no problems with it. But so
I don't mind that.
Decent place in the house today.
Well, that looks much better, and I love Hamilton. Is it because he's really fast? Is it Lewis Hamilton? Is that the vibe?
When this is a rescue. The dog is from I rescued this dog from a place called the Thurs, but the dog doesn't know that it's a rescue, and I have to tell him at some point. So I'm leaving like books around the house about adoption and like picking up strange things so he can like kind of get the hint. But this dog eats like he's a flippin' thoroughbred, and yeah, it's been a very interesting journey. The dog has taught me a lot. But that's life. Now at least I know I mustn't have children.
Yeah. No. I get that. Those dogs can, but dogs have had thousands of years of evolution to make them love you. They make you love them. It's like,
What kind of evolution is that? I still have to pick up his shit all the time.
Yeah, exactly. You see what he's got you doing.
Yes, exactly. So for me, it's a challenge, but I think it makes us strong people.
It does. What kind of dog is it? What kind of breed is it? Because Ian and I did a show where we put accents on the dogs. You know,
It's like a mixed breed. I've never heard it before, but when the doggy trainer came to the house, she said, "Oh my goodness, it's an Afrikaansis or something."
Afrikaanus. I'll say.
So she looked at my dog and she said, "It's an Afrikaner," and I felt, that this country has so many problems already. To be looking into my kitchen at my rescue and using that kind of terminology.
No,
I don't know well with my poetry. But then I Googled it, and so this is a thing. So it's that kind of dog.
Yes.
Apparently, many people have them. It's a beautiful brown dog. When he calms down, I might show him.
Please, yes. Because those ones always got the breasts all like flum and flappy because there's 1,000 kids following it around.
Ex, are we still talking about my dog?
No, I'm just talking about the dogs.
Oh, okay. I thought you move quickly.
No, not my exes. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I can't remember that anymore.
I won't make you talk about your ex when you're having gin because we don't want to hear all the details.
You know where it goes. Have you got your glass of wine? I know you're partial to the wine.
I'm partial to the wine. I don't have my glass of wine today because after this I've got a writing session. So when I write and drink at the same time, I find that the only person who thinks I'm hysterically funny is me. And then I look at what I wrote the next day, and there are no punchlines, but I apparently thought I was like amazing. Yeah.
But no, this is how you've done. So you've got just as a quick drop in here for Loot, your new show.
My new show, we've just had 6 weeks at the Baxter because the theatre the theatre has reopened in Cape Town.
Yes.
We don't know because in the news today and yesterday they were talking about another wave and people don't know what's going to be happening. But we were lucky enough to have a 6-week run, and that finished on Saturday. The show was really, really, it was well received, and you will know, you'll know how I feel, because it's just stand up. So I'm not doing any of the characters. I'm just doing stand up, and for me, it's like my first love. Just walking up to the microphone and talking for 80 to 90 minutes. And of course, the show is called Loot because a lot of the material was written when South Africans were all talking about the looting that was going on in KZN. So I singled different people out from the news, and of course the challenge of every stand-up comedian, I think, in the world is to take these situations, but your ultimate challenge is to make sure that people are laughing about it, that you're not just feeding the news back, but you've got to turn it on and give them your viewpoint of it. So we talk about a lot of things, and parts of the show that I love is we chat about the gentleman who looted the TV and he couldn't get it in and he wouldn't put it into his car.
In the car, trying to get it.
Yeah, you can't make that stuff up. So I go a little bit bedouined and crazy. I go off on a tangent about what I think actually happened to him on that day. I talk about the visits that were left on, which shows that he's a decent man, and I give you my opinions on that. The other favorite part is there was a girl who looted, and this stood out for me during the looting. She looted what she thought was a TV, but she looted a KFC menu. And I couldn't stop reading that story because I thought, at what point did when I got home that night, at what point did the family realize my DS must know a menu that was unpaid? Because they obviously were excited sitting in the lounge. They plugged it in. Somebody must have said, this is a long ad. But I go off about that. So I think, just talking from one comedian to another.
Yes.
This is what happens in our country because because it's a mess. one is honest about that. But we still have and I say it's a challenge, to make people smile. But what I love about South Africans is the deeper the shit, the more we actually just want to go out and go and watch a comedy show. Because people think, I'm actually not going to stay at home for 2 hours to wait for load shedding to end. I might as well just go for 2 hours and take the money, because the debit orders don't cover everything. So just take what you can while you can, and fork it out and go and watch some comedy. So South Africans, we've been through so much, and we really love to tell. We love to let our hair down. And I think that's why the comedy industry in this country is so strong. When you look at the art, the actors are struggling. My best friends are actors. My best friends are musicians. I've got a lot of best friends. And
see that.
But you, Gino, you are like my best friend.
Our best.
You are my best white friend.
Double best friend.
You're my best white friend. And I and so these people struggle. I've got friends who had to sell the instruments, and as a comedian, we still just had the ability to whether it was online or whether it's just to walk up onto a stage, put on the microphone, and tell funny stories. And I think it's shown through history in the world. This is what sees people through. This is what gets people through a whole lot of cut.
It should, and when the beginning of lockdown, I see Adrian Gosler saying hello there. That's he's head of Remax South Africa. So there's a gig for you coming up. I'm
the
sure.
head of Remax South Africa is saying hello to.
He's saying hello.
This house that I'm living in is rented. It would be really nice if Adrian and Remax felt they wanted to do something because of apartheid. Because of apartheid, always throw apartheid in. Because of apartheid, just to give back to a Cape Flats comedian who has given so much. To this country. I don't know, but I don't want to speak on God's behalf, Adrian. Let God talk to you tonight. But thank you for
our Lord. When you get to heaven, there will be, judgment. But we're not talking about that or anything.
We're not talking about that. No, we're not that kind of people,
Cambridge, someone from Cambridge saying, how's it, Alan Hemmings? How's it? Look, friendly voices on a Thursday. Indeed. But you know what I thought about? If that's my wife saying hello there as well. So Soma as well. We've got to pull in everybody with these shows, huh?
Your wife is saying hello.
Oh, see, yes, there's Adrian saying there's a land claim on your house.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Adrian, we can talk after this, man.
Yes, so we'll do it. But when lockdown first happened as well, you would never ever have thought like comedy or entertainment would be outlawed. It was a hell of a hit. It was a hell of a hit. I don't know if you felt the same.
Did you go online? Did you do online?
I did straight away. But I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. You go on and you try and make something out of nothing. Eventually, it's become this. But you didn't know then.
You're obviously doing the right thing to be sponsored by the famous gin people and the Spa as well. So obviously,
it's just my gushing personality, Mark.
The natural gifts. I went online as well, and it was so hectic because suddenly, because I come from 20 years of performing to live people. Laughing, both with and without their teeth, but laughter still. And suddenly, everything was locked down, and of course, I had to, because Remax wanted the rent on the house.
Yes.
So I had to go back and rethink, and then my managers were. I say my managers, but I just have one. But I like to sound like Rihanna.
No, it sounds good.
I've got one person, and the suggestion was go online, and I was kicking and screaming because I was like, no, but the thing about comedy is that we see the people, and we also change our story depending on the laughter, because the audiences actually redirect every show for me. The audience has the direction to go, and I'm sure it's the same for you. Although I've performed with you, you just don't give a shit. You carry on and do exactly what you prepared. and you just believe the audience is too slow. So I had to go, and then there's just this cameraman standing there, and you've got to tell these stories. No people, no laughter, and I say to my friends when they always say, "How was it?" and I always say, "I never grew as close to Jesus as I did during lockdown, because now you have to rely on comedy. You have to now go, I am funny, damn it, I am funny. They are sitting at home laughing. They really are." And that's just what you've got to believe. So I think, in a way, it's been good for me, because mentally, it makes you so strong. You know, just you again just go back to the early days, to the belief of, your abilities to tell a funny story. So the pandemic has been challenging in so many ways, and I guess continues to be. But I've taken a lot of good stuff from it.
Yeah. I think I feel the same. It's that thing where you have to believe in yourself, because you're not getting that immediate response.
I've never seen that before. You've got this thing.
Yes. Oh, it means I'm going to be rich.
Oh, heated now. I've never. Gino.
Mark.
It's very bold and beautiful. Anyway, carry on. The fact that I'm doing the interview in my underwear has nothing to do with it. But that.
You didn't show me all that now. Now it's this interview's getting hotter and hotter as we go. Camilla says here, the first time I saw Mark at the PE Opera House, directed by David Kramer. Went to the ladies' bathroom. There was David looking very lost. David and the ladies.
Well, if we were at the Opera House, David Kramer and I together, and he ended up in the wrong bathroom, I know exactly how that could have happened. We just love having a very festive time. We love having very festive time when we get to the Opera House. Yeah,
some wine involved as well.
Lots of wine involved.
Yeah. But like I was saying, you have to have self-belief. It gives you you have to have that in order to do it online, because you got to think that like exactly like you said, that they will be enjoying it. You can't see them laughing, or you can get a couple of comments, but it only comes like a minute later or whatever. So it's got that time delay as well.
No, exactly, and I can't. The thing about me is, even when I'm doing a live show, somehow I don't get hecklers, and I think hecklers just know when they come watch a comedian, whether it's a heckle night or not, or whether it's a heckle kind of comedian or not. Hecklers just know. So I don't get hecklers. It just doesn't happen in my show, which for me is good, because I kind of need to build and build and build, So if you're going on for 90 minutes or so, it's got to go like that. That's why I can't have an interval, because for me an interval feels. Okay. And you start again after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so the comments for me, it would be distracting while I'm performing.
Okay.
Because you particularly you don't really want to be swayed. And some comedians feed off the comments. Some comedians feed off the hecklers. They love it.
Yes.
Talk back to them and they ask them questions. Yeah. And I'm not like that. I've got a thing in my head. I've got a story that I want to tell you tonight. I want you to be slapping your knees with laughter. I want you to be screaming. And if we go, and it's got to go like that. So
momentum is important for you, which I totally relate to. I get that. Build that show. And I saw it when we were doing the Funny Fest as well. You are amazing, Mark. I just want to tell you, I've got such respect for what you do. You build that audience into a frenzy. You really do.
Well, the thing is, when when you and I were working together, it's also tricky because we only have 20 to 30 minutes, and so 30 I think is normally when we go over. We're not meant to be there for 30 minutes, but I think 25 they allow us. So you've got that time, so you can't tell a long story. So there's so much going on in the world of comedy and in the world of comedians that the audience, I guess, won't know, but we have a different strategy if you've got them to talk to the whole night, and if someone tells you just have 20 minutes, you've got to make sure that you're clapping it all the time and that you're hitting the right marks and that you're telling the story with a quick punchline. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, quick, hard hitting, eh? But you were absolutely incredible. Night after night. I only did 30 nights or something in a row. It was, for me, it was like a marathon. It was like running a marathon. I've never do those long runs, you know. I'm from Gqeberha, yeah, bro. And we don't do those long runs here because there wouldn't be enough people to to keep going at
But
it.
so, what would you prefer in the ideal world? Because I know what I prefer. If you could, do you want to do 3 nights in one venue and move along, or would you like to do a month in one venue?
It's quite, there's advantages to both. I mean, I think that you master your set if you do the same set. You do it every night, and you
Yeah.
really get to know it well. So you it's almost like playing. I'm a drummer, so when I play drums, when I play that same song 50 times, by the 50th time, I'm like cooking with that song. It's like really,
Yeah.
and you totally don't get distracted. You don't. It's just like in the back of your head. It's that
And
back brain.
you see, so I'm there as well. What I love about long running shows is by the time the audience comes in in the second week, you are so fabulous because you've got your timing right. Because you know, we for the people watching us now, you're watching this broadcast and you're watching this episode. I'll tell you, when you come in as the audience and we're standing on that stage, do you know how we are pooping? It's like little kind of pooping, and it's very dangerous at my age because the older you get, you're not sure, was that a fart or was that actually an event? And especially when we try the new material and you guys are just sitting there and you are fabulous, you've had your drink before the show, the ladies are looking amazing, just flicking their hair, like going, you can never look like this in your wildest dreams. And we there trying the material. So there's so much going on, especially the first few nights. So this is why I like long running shows, because I get used to the crew, I get used to the venue, and I'm very on about, you know, lighting. I want things to be amazing. I want the cues to work. I want to give the audience a good show because people spend money to come and watch you. So when you come, by the time you get in the second week of the run, then I'm always like, oh, wow. I wish those people who came last week, I wish they were here tonight.
Again.
Now the gag is working. And sometimes it's a matter of moving a word. Sometimes it's a matter of taking out an F-bomb. Sometimes it's a matter of inserting an F-bomb before a certain, you know, you just know some things, especially if you know South Africa well. You know how to say certain things. And you get your timing and your rhythm, like you polish a story. And then once your show is polished, that's when you can start with new material that comes to you during the day. You can try and drop it in because you know, no matter what happens, this show I know is amazing, and I know at least 40% of the audience is going to want to sleep with me after the show. I mean, this is something I have to deal with all the time, and I'm tired. I'm tired. But I do it for the fans. I do it for
From
the fans.
hip thrusts.
For the love of comedy. Did you have to explain that whole process?
Okay.
But yeah, it's an interesting business, and I'm so in love with audience.
Tracy's Thorne saying wonderful to see you, Mark. Have the happiest smiley eyes. Oh, you've got smiley eyes, have you?
Thank you. We've also got the best dapper in Cape Town. So no, I didn't have any jokes.
Of course. Oh no, but now, Mark, I mean, did you, a lot of especially the musos got into a whole bunch of depression when this lockdown hit. Did you hit it? I mean, I remember I phoned you early on in the early days. You were like, "Oh, I've had so much. I don't want to see another interview in my life." I remember you saying, you know.
No, because everybody moved online with interviews.
Yeah.
And we went into lockdown, and suddenly, initially I was like, "Oh, this is so cool. This is lovely." But then the calls came, and everybody was like, "No, we're living online now, and you've got to come and chat, you know." And then it was just getting too much for me because I was trying to process doing these shows to the camera, and then doing interviews all the time. So I had to pull up the handbrake a bit.
Yeah. No, but you didn't have any get into a hole, because a lot of guys got into a hole, you know.
No, you're not.
I didn't. I just kept myself so busy. I didn't even have a
chance. Oh, you mean lockdown specifically? No, I thought you.
Like I mean, not in a hole, like a real hole, like a mental hole. No, I didn't really dig up. I didn't actually dig a thing and then get inside.
Oh, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I'm just here in my underwear. But I meant, you know how people say, especially, after Robin Williams committed suicide,
Yes.
and then people talk about comedians going into really dark places.
Yes. Depression.
Do I get
bipolar.
that? And I don't get that way. And some people are very disappointed because they almost, I think they expect it,
I want to.
and they want to know that after the show, comedians go into very, very dark spaces. And I don't. I go home and I have a burger with onion rings and like things I shouldn't be having. And I'm at home and I'm like talking about other people, and I'm on the WhatsApp group skinnering about other people. So my life just carries on. So I don't go into a dark place. But as far as the pandemic is concerned, I didn't really go. I didn't go into a dark place as such. Of course, I was shocked,
Worried
that the world was
Shocked,
there
worried,
and the theaters were closed. And I also I got COVID, and
Ooh, I'm going to stay away from you.
too late, and.
Oh, shit.
And I had to, and I talk a lot about that in Loot as well. I took the whole COVID experience, which is quite interesting because I thought, do I talk about it? Because here now we are faced with, it's like the question when people say to comedians, will you make fun of my diva when my diva was still alive? Because
It's that line that you got to travel.
If you approach it, the topic, you have to be so, and it better be damn good.
Yes.
Better be damn good, or don't approach it at all. So I know comedians who could do my diva stuff, and I couldn't because I know two comedians who did my diva stuff really, really well.
Yes.
And then about the interesting thing about COVID is there are people watching us now who've lost their partners, their husbands, their wives.
People.
So you look at this issue and you go, do I touch it or don't I?
Yeah.
And I did. And the reason I went there, and I go there with a show, remind again, 10th and 11th at the Boardwalk.
10th and 11th of December. Yes.
I need you there, and you can get your tickets via Quicket. And the reason I go there is because, yes, as comedians, we get messages all the time from people who say, I laughed so much. But you know what messages mean the most to me and meant the most to me over this time? Were people who wrote to me and said, we bought tickets for the show, then my mom died. Then the question was, do we still come to the show? And we did. Best decision ever. Then I get other messages that go along, and I'm talking about several of these, go along the lines of, I came to your show, and yes, you are amazing, but the best thing for me was watching my mother laugh sitting next to me because I had not seen her laugh in months since my dad died.
Yes.
And those comments mean the world to me. And, so again, it is the challenge of the comedian to take on these topics, but it's about how you treat it. Because I firmly believe there's healing in laughter. And when you laugh, it means that the EFT is through, so there's healing for me as well.
Yes. It is. It's amazing, and I'm so glad because I don't have these ups and downs like the standard music comedian, and and also the other thing is I don't know if you're the same, is that I stay after the gig's finished, then I'm like socializing after the gig. And the sound guys and they're like, come on, Gino, we need to get home or whatever. I'm like, hey, just hang on, bro. I'm just have a couple of drinks just to, do come down.
When's your birthday?
19th of August.
Okay, what does that make you? What star sign?
Leo.
Are the Leos like social people?
I think so. I think they're full of themselves as well. Hey.
Okay. No, because I'm the 4th of December. So they say the Saggies are people who like, they like a drink in the one hand, a cigarette in the other, and they borrowed from somebody, and socializing. So
so they like it.
Yeah, and I'm exactly like that as well. Except now, of course, it's a tricky time because you tell people who socialize and do the pictures, but social distance, two drinks gone, and
in.
Hands are all over, and the guy hunter. No, why are you Mark? I'm double vaccinated. So Yeah, so it's been a different time for that. But yes, I'm also a social animal after the show. And I think people who have traveled the journey with us, and I'm sure your fans are the same, they really like to say hello as well, especially
Yes,
if they've
yes.
been supporting you for years. They like a little hello after the gig.
No, because I know you're a socialite. I love that about you. It's like always, always out there. You know? Center of the party. Mark's always the center of the party. And have you always been a kind of like out? You've obviously always outgoing as well. So my dad was born on the 6th of December. He's also a socialite. Yeah, I could check.
Yes. I think, yeah, and the thing about us December babies, and there are December babies who are watching us right now, so they will agree,
Yes.
is that we are perfect people. And and that is so hard because we are all married people, and you've got to then realize that you can't tell people. At some point in your life, you realize it's actually awkward when you tell people that you're perfect and that you're obviously right, and you've got to wait and allow them to come to the realization. And sometimes it takes long. It's like like 2 cups of tea or something, and you quietly have to be in the kitchen and bite your bottom lip and go, I now have to wait until everyone realizes that I'm right. And can't we just accept it and agree? So, and that comes with us. We're wonderfully social. We like to make everybody feel comfortable. We hate it when people fight, and we are right all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a cross I've got to carry.
Yeah. the perfection.
The
Cross.
It's a burden, It's a burden.
No, you're going off to write after this. Now, give us a little bit of a background, some information. How do you go about writing stuff? Do you test it in front of an audience first, or think of something?
No, never in front of the audience first. I've got either serviette or a napkin. If I was out for coffee this morning, I would have written something down. Most of the time now, I'm gravitating towards the phone to make voice notes.
Yes.
But sometimes there's so many voice notes to get through, and other times when you've been out for a drink and then you listen to your voice note the next day. And don't forget to make this the thing about the lemon is funny. What, Marc Lottering?
What is that?
The thing about the lemon is funny. And then I even hear myself talking to my friend. Wait, what did I say about the lemons again on the voice? And so that's a bit humbling to listen to that the next day, because you realize maybe not perfect all the time. But I go to voice notes. I make notes, and if something sticks with me, more and more now, I'm finding that we've got to you have to write these things down, because sometimes you forget to write it. And then you forget about it completely. Then you go to a gig and you hear another comic telling the story about the lemons, for example.
Yes,
and you go,
yes.
I had a similar thing that I was talking. No, flip, man. Why didn't I just go and
just write it down and go for it?
Yeah. So my process is to see something funny, and I try to look at the at the funny side of life most of the time. I don't think we'll survive if we don't. I would recommend it to everybody, and then if it sticks with me, I see if I can write a little story. And not everything's always funny. And sometimes I think something is amazing, and then I would run it by Anwar, and he would just stare at me and say, Anwar says things like, you're obviously going to tell it differently if you. Try
right. All right.
You're obviously going to tell it differently. And I'm like,
well, he's just being nice to you.
Yeah. So, but then you try it in front of an audience, and as I said, the audience will redirect the material, and the audience is still, the best director, the best manager in the world is one group of audience. That's the best management, the best directors that you will find. And that's my process. It's very, very simple, to remember funny things, down and write the story, and see where it goes.
I think Barry Hilton does a similar thing. He tries to do like a couple a day. If he sees a gag or he sees a thing, Barry's got a different kind of style, but he's got these gags, and he's so good about it. And that's one thing that I can see is that you're a focused kind of person. You're not an ADD. I'm ADD. I'm all over the place, and
Hey, the story, I won't even say the stories I can tell you. The stories other people can tell you about me. I mean, I'm not, I'd like to think I'm a focused person, but I think I'm in love with comedy still, which is wonderful, and I respect it. So for me, the business about when I'm going to walk onto stage and present material or present a show to somebody, that I really respect, because you got to have a lot of respect for the audience. So in that respect, I can be great. But so interesting, I was hanging out with 3 comedians yesterday. Well, 2, the other one.
Was that Alan? Was that Alan Committee? Was that the one that wasn't really?
You will never give me to do names and surnames on this. This is why I'm not drinking with you. Do you see why I'm not drinking with you?
I see that. Oh, damn it. Damn you. You've got me now.
I don't know what you like, but we never change. And when you were at high school, you studied the night before the exam. When you were at varsity, you studied the night.
Last minute.
And this is how it works for comedians. I shouldn't be saying this to everyone, but I will.
I'm glad you're saying this because it's all coming together.
We have a great poster out. We've got a great show. Hey, but people, this loot has been running for 6 weeks. It's a real show.
Just to say,
It's a great show. We've got a great comedian. We've got a great poster. We look wonderful on the poster. We've got a great title. Oh, sexy title. Great photograph. Then you kind of rest on your laurels. And suddenly you go, hey, 3 more weeks to the show. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about that then. 2 more weeks to the show. Wow. 48 hours prior to the show. You are like a maniac. It's like
I'm so glad to hear this.
Lucifer lives in your house. Nobody can, and the drama, nobody can disturb you. And there's nobody bringing me food. Somebody's got to cook for me. Can somebody please wash my feet? I can't move. I've got a show. So you become this person. And then we were discussing this yesterday, we said, imagine we were like that every day of the year. So then they mentioned some famous person who doesn't live in South Africa, and he writes 1 gag a day. Now, when he says 1 gag a day, it means he devotes like at least 5 minutes to something, even if it's shit. Even if it's shit, you force yourself. You go, I don't know what to talk about today. There's a wet towel. I will talk about the wet towel. What annoys me about towels. Then maybe you're going to get to somebody moving into your house who looks amazing when they move in, but the state in which they leave the bathroom, wow, this is grounds for calling an Uber. So you see already there, this is my brilliance that I have to bask in.
Yes, I see it's coming out.
So Gino, imagine we did that every day of the year.
That'd be amazing.
5 days, and you've got to do a show. You can then choose what am I going to talk about. But we are real human beings, and that is not how life works. But that's the kind of discipline one would hope to get to.
Yes,
I must say I'm a bit more disciplined now. The older I am, I'm not night before the exam any longer. And that's only because Anwar is now kind of demanding at least a week before the show to see something. And it's good to have that kind of, when you've got a producer saying, I want to see something, it pushes you in the right direction as well.
No, I've got Gary doing that. He's the one who creates the poster and does the name and the sexy name and everything, and then it's all out there. And then I'm like, crap.
Yeah, you need that.
A week left. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And so it's your birthday now in a couple of days, man.
The 4th of December.
Yeah, 4th of December. And it's obviously 32 now then, eh?
I'll be 29.
29.
I'm probably 29. Do you know, in the show, I talk about being 53 in the show with a whole lot of pride because I know I look hot. Yes. And
never say 50.
You might as well just talk about it because it's like elephant in the room. Hello.
Yes.
So, and the business about getting old is that, you are still you, obviously, and you walk into a room and you're not thinking that it's almost time for you to go and stand in the Sasa queue. And then when you're on the second glass of Sauvignon Blanc and on the first tequila, you're feeling all cool and you get your old usual flirtatious self and you just want to say how's it to somebody. You don't want to break up your marriage or anything, but you say how's it. You fire and you want to share fire with people. You don't keep fire.
Fire, baby.
You fire. I went there. And you fire and you want to share with people. And then somebody looks at you and goes, oh, Uncle Mark.
Ah, yeah.
And
Yeah. Worm.
and everybody in heaven is laughing. You can feel God and all the angels screaming with laughter because you've just been told who you are.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
so,
I get it.
but life is amazing. Regardless as to what part of the journey you're on, because I still
Yeah.
think, and I now don't want to sound there like a Miss South Africa winner who wants to go to Israel.
Israel.
But life is no matter what chapter of your life that you are in. I find still that it is perspective. Everything is perspective. How you approach the journey, and that for me is always exciting. And I just, again, when I was chatting to the comedians yesterday, it's, you never know everything, and that is so lekker. And even in this business,
Yes. Always
I
learning.
stand on stage, I come home and I'm so excited because I've learned something new about what's going on stage, or about myself, or I'm approaching a story, how I carry myself, and you never know everything, and there's always new things to discover. And if you're open to it,
Yeah.
that keeps life exciting. I think it's
It
this
is.
business of acceptance of wherever you find yourself in life. This is who I am, or this is my label, or I'm living with this and I'm suffering with this. This is the label that's been given to me, and that's why I refuse. I refuse to go into any corner and to have any kind of label attached to me that's going to add restrictions or going to limit me in any way.
Yeah.
So,
There's no rules. There's no rules in this life.
if you're going to turn around and call me Uncle Mark, I'm going to go, and what can Uncle Mark buy you? So, you must always look for the silver linings.
Yes. No, I'm so glad that makes so much sense. There's no rules in this life. You can change everything on its head tomorrow. You don't even have to do comedy. You can go and do accounting if you want to. There's no rule.
Yeah. And there's no rule, Gino, but the rule is you still have to pay your rent at the end of the month. Kanala, just remember that. I don't want us to have done this interview and then you said, Mark supported me, no rules. I want to go to Bali on Tuesday and meditate for 3 months. No rules, baby. You've got responsibility. So there's that as well.
Okay, there is rent to pay. Okay, we get that. We get that too. All right, Mark, we're going to do a little getting to know you session. Let's do it.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
All right, a couple of quick fire questions here. What's the most uncomfortable place you've ever slept?
Police station.
Oh, yeah, were you in jail?
We just firing questions and answering them. We're not discussing.
No, because so many of my guests have been to jail. So I'm like counting them all. It's like 70% or something.
I have spent a night in jail. Yeah.
Yay!
You can Google that.
Okay. Oh, is it on Google? Oh my God.
Only in South Africa, someone says I've spent the night in jail, and someone goes, "Yay!"
Yes.
Yay! Give me a look.
You're an interesting person. Congratulations. Oh, classically. Okay, so the most physically painful thing you've ever experienced in your life? Can you remember that time?
Physically painful. Oh, gosh.
Nothing has touched you. Nothing has touched your countenance.
I'm just so in touch with everything, that.
Okay.
Yeah. Perspective is everything. Somebody chops off your finger, you're like, okay, I don't have to buy an extra ring now. This is good.
Perspective. I love that. Okay.
I mean, I've had things, I've had dental work. I've had my arm being broken. I've had COVID to be more recent, but I don't attach pain to this because I think people put so much cuck in the world. But I go through. I can't take pain because I've got a good medical aid, so it's okay.
Okay, that's all right. Then you're okay. At least you covered for it. Have you got any silly fears or superstitions?
I have zero superstitions.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
And
zero fears, zero superstitions. Even things with their words we're not allowed to say in the theatre. So I think it's Macbeth or Hamlet. You see, I don't even know. But one of the two.
Yes. Macbeth, I think it's You're not allowed to say the name. What do they call it? The something. Yeah, Alan knows that stuff.
Alan knows that stuff. So So when I'm working with actors, people who like
Yes.
have degrees, and then I hear all these things because I spend a lot of time in the theater, and
Yes.
I don't have any of those things. No.
Okay. What have you created that you're most proud of?
An opportunity for people to laugh until they cry.
Yes. I mean, how many people can say that? You know, it's true.
Yeah, I don't take that lightly. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a winner. It's an absolute winner. Okay, was there ever a moment where there was no turning back for you? Like a Anwar.
Many moments, I think, for all of us, because you go, well, I brought this person home now, so
Yeah.
you might as well go through with it.
You got to live with it now.
Too late, and there's restrictions on lockdown, so yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Tell me how the evening was planned. No turning back now.
No, that's it. Okay, your biggest splurge.
It's probably been my car. I drive a Z4, old Z4 that came out way back then. But when I bought it,
Yes. I remember that Z4.
It was. Are you serious? That was the response from Anwar as he was packing his suitcase, and and from our friends was obviously you just rented this for 2 days and you're taking it back. Yeah. And I have no regrets about it, because sometimes you've got to do some stuff that I work hard because I give 100%, and you can either live. I'm not telling people what to do, but you can either live and go, one day when I win the lotto, I'm going to do lotto. Now, I'm not a one day when I win the lotto kind of person, because I've already resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to win the lotto. But I don't want to die with dreams and pointing at other people's cars and at the way other people live. So I make a way. No. So I go, I can't buy that car cash, but I want to come home, especially if you've done a shit corporate gig. Corporate is hectic. Unless it's this, I love working for the Spa Group because they're like amazing.
Yes. But, of course, and Fitch and Leeds.
But please.
And maybe Remax.
Remax, oh wow. I love working for Remax, like so much. But other corporates, when you get there, because it's just one person in marketing who decided that you're funny, and she's in charge of booking the artist. Yes. So you get, and the other 300 people there are actually just waiting for their excellence awards. So get on with it, Mr. MC Comedian. Move on with your joke. I just want to hear my name, actually. Thank you very much. So corporate gigs are tough. And I think when you come home from those things, you must either live in a nice house or get into a nice car to make it worth your while. And I don't want to wait until I'm grey or naturally grey to afford these things. So while I'm still fabulous, I want to enjoy fabulous things as well.
No, because you're going against completely what you said just now, of course, but don't spend the money because there's rent and everything. But it's okay. We'll forgive you for that one for now.
I was talking to you. It was Marc.
Oh, me.
So the friend giving another friend advice. You know.
Oh, my word. All right. So the funniest thing that you've done while your mind was wandering, and I don't know, it happens to me on stage every now and again, where you, especially like you say, if you're doing these long runs and you know the stuff so well, you say I say a line and you get a laugh for it, and then you think to yourself, what did I just say? Have you ever been there?
I have been there where I go when my mind wanders, and this is the danger, I think, of doing long running shows, because you get to know the running audience so well. And sometimes if the audience is hectic, your mind can wander, because you can go, okay, I'm gonna have to this one, I'm gonna have to like be very on about what stick to the script. Yes. And then you suddenly get to a part of the show where you're going to deliver the punchline, and the punchline is, and that's how Tatiana won gold. But for that to be the punchline, you needed to have told the story about gold 10 minutes
Yes,
before.
before.
So you get to that and you go, I didn't tell the gold story.
Tell the story.
I'm going to deliver the punchline, and then they're not going to know what the hell. How did I not tell the gold story? Was because you just lost focus for a second. Your mind
Exactly.
wandered, and you cannot afford for that to happen. So
And you went off.
yeah, so that has happened to me, I think, on more than 3 occasions. But I generally try to.
Have you ever been blank, like totally blank?
And you know what the great thing? Yes, there are times when I've gone totally blank, and then to get inside the head of a comedian when he's totally blank, it's another place. You don't want to be there because you are like a dog in a pool. Trying to.
I've been there.
So I'm holding the microphone and I'm standing at the back. So this has happened to me during Loot, and you go, so yes, man, and it's just so amazing to have you here. You guys won't understand. And the more cuck you're talking, you actually
the more you
yourself.
mix yourself.
You can't. And you know who enjoys that the most? Because I can hear them laughing. It's the crew. I actually hear the crew. I hear the sound is like going crazy because they are like, this is delicious. He has no idea where
he's nowhere.
Doesn't know which city he's in. He doesn't know what show this is. And then there is a God, because normally after at 90, when that happens and it's 90 seconds, it feels like 9.5 weeks.
Yes, it does.
So and then okay, there,
bang.
You kind of work your way back.
Yeah, you grab onto some rope that's hanging from somewhere, and you think that it might be the right one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my word! Just got to not hang yourself.
It's
true. Okay, so a time that you acted nonchalant when you were going crazy inside. I suppose that would be a similar situation.
Nonchalant when you're going crazy inside. That's only. I mean, the craziest thing for me, and I don't know if this answers your question. Yeah. The craziest thing for me is I used to play this game of knowing people, because I just thought that it would just be fine. So people go to me, hey, you remember us from? Yeah. I used to play along.
Okay.
It was like too many people, and I would just go, yes, of course, like, and then the one night I did that, it was after a show as well, and I said, and she said, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm great, and I said, you're looking amazing as you should do. And she was like, well, after you met Derek, I've changed the name there. After you met Derek, he passed on. So it's been a little bit. And I went, and in that moment, I knew that she knew that I was not, that I didn't really know, and I didn't remember meeting Derek and that
you don't know dead husband.
Yes, and after that, I thought I will never ever again pretend that I know somebody's dead husband. I will say, I don't remember. Where do I know you from? So I've started doing that for a year now, and it's been great. Because I think some people are disappointed because they go, no, man, we spoke in game. And now, I mean, I see a lot of people next to the handy Andy. Wow. So I now start saying, I say to people, I don't remember. Or people say, but we've got a photo together. And I'm like, if I show you my phone now, the photos in my, there are pictures here that I have with people. I don't remember.
You don't.
It's just need to be honest and say, I'm sorry, I don't remember. And then give them the opportunity to tell you, Derek didn't make it after the last time you and him leopard crawled on that bar counter. That was the last night Derek had a drink. Then we can all sympathize together.
Yes, no, that's good. No, I get you. That's good. Okay, the last time you changed your opinion or belief about something major.
That was probably, gosh, must be about 10 months ago.
Yeah.
I made a decision when it comes to performers who are close to me. I don't know how you're getting this out of me and I'm sober. But I just say to them, it's a great show.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
I decided when I was honest, last year I was very honest about something to someone who I thought's a good friend, and I said, no, it's not quite there yet. There are problems with and the person was like, no, I disagree with you. I don't know. And I was looking at her thinking, wow. Okay. So when people ask what you think, do they really want to know what you think?
Yeah.
And then I made a decision that I've got to work out. There are certain situations when people say what you think, they don't mean what do you think. They mean tell me how amazing I am. And so you've got to work that out.
It's true, but when you understand, as a comedian, though, if somebody hates your show, it's like a knife in your heart. It's like
I don't want to know when people, that's why sometimes, especially opening nights, you wish that you could just go home, because the one thing I don't want is to wait for people to bump into people after the show, and when people are feeling that they have to be in a position to tell you that you're amazing. You don't need to hear that. You can talk about other stuff. That's why, Gino, my worst thing is bumping into somebody in the spa, because we don't really like that. Bumping into somebody in the spa, in the spa, and this happens, is when they go, Mark, I saw your show Thursday.
Okay, great. We saw it.
Mark, just leave me here hanging next to the Romany creams to work this out on my own. And then they go,
Oh, no. You want to get that standing ovation every time. You want them to be up, wow, then you know.
We can do a whole new episode on this channel about comedians and their egos.
I know. It's so fragile. It is. Because it's so much of you. Especially with stand-up. Especially with your stand-up, because it's you. It's kind of you. Sort of. It's not really you, but it's you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, a couple more questions. I know we're keeping you longer than I should have.
Yeah.
I know. It's fine. It's good. We got some good stuff here. Have you ever inadvertently been party to a crime? Maybe when you went to jail that time.
No, that was just me.
That was an actual crime.
That was all me. But inadvertently.
Yeah. Like one of your chummies, one of your mates.
I don't ask questions. When people say to me, don't look in your boot and we're going to keep your car until tomorrow. Then I don't look in the boot, and I get the car back, and there's a valet has been lifting the car, 9 vacuum cleaners through it.
Just a carpet in the back.
I don't want to know anything.
Okay. So there's still a moment that's going to happen. We'll get Oh my God. Okay. When was the last time you immediately regretted something that you did?
Immediately, it would be, I think, a while back, and I spoke about this on stage as well. I WhatsApped the person I was talking about. This was, I was at home. I had a whiskey. I probably had 2.
A bit of whiskey.
Yeah, and we were doing a bit of a Skinner session, and then I actually sent it to him.
To him instead of, yes.
Yeah, and then a question mark came back from the person, and your whole body turns maroon. That's when you look to heaven and go, Jesus, please come now. Today's a good day to come and fetch us all. Because we know what
Gary is laughing so much here because he has sent sexy messages to someone else that's got the same name as his wife. And it's a client as well, yes, of course.
Wow.
So no, there are levels of that.
Message, Gary, it was just a message. I'm hoping it wasn't a clip. It was just a message.
It wasn't. It was a very, very intimate message. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Mark, let's see. One more left out of this lot, and then we got the last question, which I always ask my people. What do you wish that you knew more about?
Money.
That's a big one.
Money. We come from a background where, because I come from the Cape Flats, and we were not poor when we were growing up. My parents were doing more than okay, but I wish that I knew more about investments and saving money and being clever about it. I'm not complaining now. But I'm not talking for myself, because I have a nephew and I have a niece, and it would be so great, if we can leave something behind.
Yes.
I always think that's such a great thing to be able to do. So, but I'm not complaining.
You've got a legacy, Mark. You have got a legacy. People are not going to forget you in a hurry.
I know, yeah, I have a legacy, but they also want to be in a position where they can buy a Kit Kat and a packet of chip nicks without having to think about it.
In distress.
So, they can buy it at Spa where there are good prices.
Where they're good prices, yes. And
so,
you don't collect anything. You haven't got any hobbies or anything like that, a collection, because that always is very telling about people. There's two things that I think. One is you don't collect stuff.
I collect compliments the whole day.
Oh, right. Yes, of course.
I was in the road you.
You're so full of shit.
I saw your show on Thursday.
Hey. Okay, and the other one is what album was your first album that you ever bought? What record or album did you buy? The first one. That's a telling question.
Yeah, but does it have to be an album or does it can I go back to cassettes? If you're talking about
a record. I'm thinking about records or cassettes. Yeah, cassettes were,
It would have been an album.
No, you are 53, so don't come around with this because I'm 51 and I know there were plenty of records.
Oh gosh, no. Well, you see, my father was a pastor of a Pentecostal church, so all the albums in our home was gospel. So the first thing then that I would have owned and loved to this day, because I still play it on my phone, there's a gospel artist called Andre Crouch. And people are in the gospel circles know about the music of Andre Crouch, and he's so damn cool. So that would have been the first thing that I would have bought way back.
Soul, it's like a soul vibe, or like
it's everything. I'm gonna WhatsApp his name and send him to you because you're a muso, and you've got to promise me that you will listen to at least one song.
I will do that for you, Mark.
The man was phenomenal. His music is phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay, final questions. The first one is it's just basically your
three final questions. You're the kind of person once you never trusted. I'm coming.
Okay, so the three ones I always asked all my guests are your proudest moment, your sort of most embarrassing moment, and then something where a gig has gone completely wrong.
My proudest moment it happens every night when I hear an audience scream with laughter. I can say that without thinking about it because I never take that for granted. And there's no sexier feeling than that. If you can hear 600 people screaming with laughter, that makes me proud every night. What were the other two? It was
the most embarrassing moment.
Most embarrassing moment. I was starting out in the business, and I did a show called From the Cape Flats with Love, and I took the show to Joburg, and this was me starting out, being all bakhat, and we booked at Joburg Theatre. We booked a venue on the side here, a small little theatre, and these people came in to watch the show, and it was a block booking and sold out nogal for me starting out, and these people just stared at me for 75 minutes because that was the duration of my show without and they still looked at each other with whispers to each other. And when afterwards the usher came to me and showed me a program, and they had programs for the pantomime, which was Cinderella in the big theatre next door to one of Janice Honeyman's pantomimes.
Oh my God!
And they wanted to see the pantomime. The person had booked tickets by mistake for my show. So they were watching this 75 minutes of thinking, this is the strangest flippant genie or in a bot. Because Aladdin was the show. They were supposed to watch Aladdin. This is the strangest genie. How is this lamp being rubbed to come out looking like this? So, and they stayed. How decent were they? They stayed. Nobody left.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was
that's saying something.
75 minutes of absolute silence.
Shit. Oh, that is so hectic. That is so hectic. I mean, okay, and then the thing where something's gone completely wrong at a gig, like a corporate or something where there's just something that's gone. Just
Yeah, Gino,
the world sometimes conspires against you. You know.
Yeah, I have to say that because of where I am, and you know what I'm talking about, where you can feel that things are going to go wrong and this could be the worst moment ever, but you've got these life-saving gags.
Yes.
You've got about 5 gags that you will use anywhere in the world. Not in the country, where you go, this is the one that's going to get me out of this right now. So I've got that. But I will say to you, where something almost went horribly wrong for me, and it had nothing to do with me, I was booked to a very sexy venue in Joburg. I forget the name of the place now, but it's like a restaurant come like performing arts venue. And then, you know, the corporate goes on, and then they've got 30 minutes of the comedian, and I came on, and then another guy walked up as I came on as well. And he's a groot kop in the company, and I thought he was just going to say more about me, and he said, before I forget, just before we get too festive, you know, let's say the person's name was Gary. Gary's cancer. He's bad. But I wish I was making this up. I've just gotten word from his wife. They at the hospital. It's not looking great. I know you've all been waiting to hear the news.
Oh my God!
So can we all spare a thought? And let's just do a minute meditation, so that they can get through this, you know, so that's interview. A minute of people praying that Gary pulls through.
Cancer.
Because his wife just said, it's bad tonight, we're not going to get through this. She's at the hospital.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Lottering.
Marc Lottering. But you know, Mark, I had a very similar experience with exactly the same thing with a guy. And it was an early one where I was behind these big doors at Gallagher Estate, dressed as a jester, because that's what the events lady wanted, you know. And because he's funny, so dress him as a jester. I'm like 3 years into my career. I'm like, I'll do anything. Then he does a 2-minute silence for Lee Matthews that got cut up and put in the boot of a car. Remember that Lee Matthews story?
Yes.
2-minute silence before. And ladies and gentlemen, same situation. We got a lot in common here, Mark.
Books need to be written. Books need to be written. And then people ask me silly questions like, why do you drink?
because
Danny's wife phoned just before I had to go on.
Exactly. Marc Lottering, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for spending your time. Oh, you're going? Oh, the dog. Yes. Show me. Oh my word. Afrikaners. Daar say. Hello, meneer. Oh my word. Hello, Hamilton. Lovely to see you. Thank you, Mark, Thanks so
Thank
much for
you.
joining me tonight. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
10th and
and
11th of December. Absolutely. 10th, 11th of December, and we'll see you then. We'll see you then. Okay. Ciao, Mark. Cheers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the competition. So don't go anywhere. Get your typewriters ready. Your typewriters. Get your typewriters ready, because I'm going to play a song for you now, and then I want to hear the in the comments the first person to put the name of the song and the artist in the comments. We're going to go to the drum thing. Gets a case of Fitch and Leeds. Fitch and Leeds are going to send you a case of tonics for you to enjoy. Indeed, we're going to hit it. Mike Pofferman, one of our previous winners as well, but I think it's been 90 days since you've won. You can take it, Mike Pofferman. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on Gino's Spot. Thank you to Marc Lottering for being such a gracious guest indeed. He's been fantastic. Thank you to Fitch and Leeds, our sponsor, and Spar. Thank you, Spar. And of course, Mobia, our internet, as well as Grace, who brought around some snacks for us as well. Thank you so much to Fat Cats, baby. Fat Cats. Great show. Thank you very much. Camilla Ellis, we love you. Thank you. That's been a great interview. That was funny. Gee, was that guy is funny. I actually had to. Miguel Tarenti. Mick Tarenti from Zista. I love it. I love it. See these guys from all over the world. Brilliant. Girl's going to wet himself. Indeed. We'll see you again on Tuesday when we've got the guys from Swirl Wines. Swirl Wines? Is that a Wednesday? I can't remember. No, we've got a Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, and we've got the Swirl Wine guys coming in to have a laugh. Woo! Thank you very much for joining us on Gino's Spot. Thank you, Spar. Thank you for your lead.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot!
Get to Gino's